Alright, how's everyone going? I'm Dave. We're going to do a 20-minute class today. Hips, hamstrings, lower back. It's been requested. Thank you, Dan. Let's get going through it. We'll add a little bit of strength into it and a little bit of flexibility. So, without further ado, I'll start the clock. So 20 minutes on the clock, here we go. Start lying on your back. Take as much space as you can. Keep the shoulders, the butt, and the legs grounded. Make connection. Arms out wide. We're going to start flossing through our hip. So I'm going to bring my left knee up, my knee up to my chest. I'm going to open it out to the side. Let the knee droop to the floor and then extend it out long. Just like you're doing breaststroke with one leg. And we go again. So we're going to flossing through the hips. We're going to take note of our hips. How are they going today? Any sticky points? And if this is the distance between the knee and the floor for today, that's it. One day it will be flat like a pancake. Get a bit of speed going. So that's 4. All the way up, as high as you can go, keeping that lower back on the ground. Out to the side. Straighten it out long, 5, and we'll put it in reverse. So we come up to the side, keeping it a lot as close to the floor as we can. Flip it back to the middle, straighten it out long. Just go for 5 again. For 3. For 2, keep it on the ground, contact as long as you can. Up through the middle. The last one, just like that. Up through the middle, straighten it out long. And we'll do it on the right leg now. So right knee comes up all the way up the chest, opens out to the side, equal weight through your lower back on the floor. Push it out long. Flossing through your hips. No judgment. Maybe feeling a few clunky bits that might need a little bit of lubrication. So we'll go for 2 more. So 1, and then back up. Last one. All the way up, open up out to the side, maybe the knees on the ground, maybe not just yet. Put it in reverse. Knee comes up to the armpit, back through the middle, extend it out long. Knee comes out to the side, up to your armpit, extend it long. Go for 3 more. Extend it long. 2. And 1. Up, around, straighten it long. Beautiful. Bring the feet up. Shimmy the hips side to side, a little bit of window wiper action, release out that lower back, and then tuck into a ball, nice and tight. Bring the chin in, bring the knees in, chin in, hug yourself, hug the ball. Some gentle rock and rolls. We'll rock and roll all the way up to a seat, and we'll start to floss our legs. So coming into a bear sit, about, 45 degrees with the floor, we'll knock the knees to the left, we'll knock the knees to the right. So there's 2 variations here. You can keep your posture as tall as you can, rotating from one butt cheek to the other, or if you want something a little bit easier and a bit more flossy, bring the hands behind you, bring the weight into your hands, and then flossing, moving, grooving through the hips. Whatever one you chose, we'll come to the left now. Once again, like the last video, we'll find a 90-90 bear sit. Maybe move some flesh from that left butt cheek out of the way. And we'll put our hands out to the side and we'll fold forwards. We'll come back up for 5, for 4, keeping the posture as tall as you can, for 3. And if this left butt cheek isn't playing and you're too high up, you can put some padding underneath it to try and level out those hips. 2 more. 1 more. We'll come forwards over that front foot and melt down. Find that glute stretch. Play around with some angles. You can walk it closer to your foot. You can feel quite nice. Connecting with your breathing. Let it all go. Maybe shimmy towards the knee. And then find a moment of pause. A couple of breaths. Walk your fingers in. Walk your chest up. Coming up to a vertical position. We'll play with the knee now. So my right knee, I'm going to lift it off the floor, just like that. For 5, for 4, keeping your posture tall. For 3, for 2, for 1, pause, lower it down. Now we're going to go the other way, so I'm going to lift up the blade edge of my foot, lifting up my heel, keeping my knee contact with the ground. This one sucks, trust me. And we go for 5, feeling it in the hip, for 4, 3, 1, and we'll hold it for 5 seconds. Feel it cramping. Yep, that down, floss over to the other side. Find 90-90, this time my right leg's forwards, but if you went the other way around, that's perfectly cool. So we'll lean forwards for 5, tall up, and if this isn't working for you, use your hands by all means. For 4, for 3, 2, 1, and find position. And this 20-minute class is excellent for you if you're about to go and do some sport and you need to warm up, particularly running, cycling, climbing, anything with a lot of hip action that you can loosen them up, get the fluids moving in them right before you do it. You can notice the range of flexibility can improve. Melt down. 1 big breath out here over that front leg, feeling it in your glute. Then walk your chest, come back upright, and we're going to play with that back leg again. So lift your knee up for 5, keeping the foot on the floor for 4, posture tall for 3, breathing easy for 2, 1, and we'll pause, we'll hold it there for a second. Excellent, and we're going to go the other way, the one that sucks, lifting the heel for 5, for 4, nice and tall, 3, taking the weight into your right glute, 2, 1, pause, hold, lift, smile, lower it down, floss through hips one more time each way, and then we'll come, find our downward facing dog. Coming up, find downward facing dog, pedal the feet out, listen to the motorbike revving up outside. How good is the weekend? And bring your heels down as close to the mat as you can. Maybe up onto the toes, maybe a bit of bend into the knees. And walk it in for a shorter dog, shorter downward facing dog. Heels are on the ground now, that's how short it is. Check in with your neck, give the neck a little shimmy from side to side. Push up tall through the hands. And I'm going to take my right foot and I'm going to bring it to the left side on the blade edge. I might have to shuffle my left foot back a bit here. And then coming forwards, finding an outside of leg stretch here, all in the ITB band. Weight is in my shoulders, in my hands. My shoulders are stacked over my wrists. And just melting here. Don't go anywhere. Stay with me. And I'm going to take it back, shoot it back up, 3-legged facing dog. And then how good is that motorbike? And I'm going to take it forwards, finding a lunge position, drop the back knee down, bring the hands to the inside of that right foot, melt forwards. I'm just going to show you from the side, so we can let that right hip crack out to the side, find some movement in it. Come up tall, you can assist it with your hand, you can push the hip out to the side, so on the blade edge, or you can come on the flat of the foot, choose what works for you. Melt back, finding our half splits, getting into the hamstrings, feels so good. Have a breath here. Then we'll come forwards, we'll bring the left leg to meet the right leg into a squat, bend into the knees. We'll forward fold, first forward fold of the day. We'll bend into the knees again, loosening up into the knees. Find another forward fold. One more time, bending in, squatting, or if you're on your toes, more like a crouch position. Either option works perfectly fine. Forward fold, let it go. And from here, step back into your plank. We're going to take, downward dog. You're going to take your left leg up to the sky, shoot it up there, reach tall, long. You can feel a little bit of extra stretch in that bottom leg if you pause here for a second. before we take it out to the left side, just like what we did before. So my left leg is straight. I can have a little bit of bend in it, but what I want to avoid is loading up the knee joint on it. So I can avoid that by trying to spiral my hips to the floor. Feeling it in the outside IT band of the leg, which is this one here, but on this leg. And then from there, I'm going to bring it back up. Do legged dog one more time. Take it through and forwards. And find your lizard lunge one more time. Coming to the inside of your leg. Can be up tall, can be down low, can be spiraling it on to the blade edge of that leg. Feeling it in your right hip, feeling it on the left leg, all round good stuff. Push that leg straight, melt down, half splits. Easy breathing, relax, let it go. We'll come forwards onto the foot again. Let right leg to meet the left. We'll find a couple more squats there. Straighten it up, let the body hang. One more, couple of squats. Let the body relax. Forward fold, let the neck go, tension go, body heavy. Come back into a crouch position. So you'd be on your toes, and you're gonna rock back, stretch the toes, tops of the feet. Again, put the hands behind you. Chest lifted, just be with it, can be uncomfortable. And then you'll rock forwards onto all fours, tabletop position. As you take your left leg out the back, and then you just lift it up, power through it, and you take the right arm forwards. And I'm going to make a 45-degree angle as I tilt my upper body to the side for 5, 4, for 3, reaching long, for 2, and 1, back to the middle. Right hand finds the floor, the left leg curls in. We'll go 5 hamstring curls for 4, for 3. Noticing if the upper body's sagging. Can you find that right position for 2, and 1. Pause, hold. And then I'm going to take my left leg behind my right leg, almost like a shoelace position. I'm going to push back to a kind of child's pose kind of position, into a crouch with my legs in a shoelace. Just play around there, finding a bit of a stretch in the outside of your hip. Have a breath. Coming back forwards, untuck the leg, and take my right leg out the back this time. So right leg reaches right to the back of the room, the head's reaching to the front of the room. I can then pop my left hand up, feels comfortable. I'm going to crack the angle again, 45 degrees for 5, for 4, breathe, smile, for 2, for 1, hold it. Left hand reconnects with the ground, and we crunch in that hamstring for 4, for 3, for 2, keep that hip lifted, keep it level, for 1, pause, hold, almost a little bit of a cramping sensation. And I'm going to take that right leg behind my left leg, pushing back, finding that child's pose kind of floss. One smooth, easy breath here. And we'll come forwards onto all fours, push to the back of the mat, find a crouch position. Feels so good as we kind of on our toes, pushing back into that spot. And we'll find a downward facing dog. So we lift our right leg up to the sky, maybe bend the knee, switch the hip open, playing with different angles. Hips already should be starting to feel a lot better. Place the right leg forwards. So the right foot meets your right thumb. You're going to spiral the right hand up to the sky, open up, hand back down to the ground, right hand reaches up, open up to the sky, back down. Both hands connect to the floor, pushing back over the front leg, zipping up between the legs, left hip driving to the front of the room, right heel driving back, upper body's relaxed, straight legs, bending back in, coming up, chest lifts, low lunge, pushing back one more time, melting over that front leg. Have a breath. And then from here, I'm going to show you from the other side, so you don't just see my ass. You're going to, actually I should have been this way, sorry. You're going to spiral your toes to the long edge of your mat. You're going to find a Skandasana, which is basically flossing through the hips as you keep your hands on the floor. So there's variations. You can be up high depending on the range in your hips, and you can even, a bit of extra support on the hip. You can be down low, you can be even lower if you pop your knee to the sky and you let that toe spiral out and face the roof. So find what works for you. And then coming back to the front of the mat, and you're going to put it in reverse now. So we're in our low lunge. Now my right foot spirals out to the right side, 90 degrees angle. And my hip sits onto the floor, and I can find a bit of stretch here on the outside of my hip, also on the side of my body. Hand can reach up. Power up, bring it back. We'll find a plank. We'll throw a push up in there for good luck. And push back to our knees. We'll roll the chest, scraping across the floor, gliding across the floor. Chest lifts. Cobra or upward facing dog. Little rinse of that lower back. Toes untuck. Push it back, downward facing dog. It's time to lift the left leg up to the sky. Power it up. Swish that hip around. Find something that feels good. Draw the right heel to the ground. Step the left hand to meet the left thumb. From here, you're going to spiral the left hand up to the sky. The left hand comes back down. One more time like that. Left hand up to the sky, reaching as tall as you can. And then bring it back down as we then push the left leg straight. Scissor action happening between the back and the front foot. Melt into that front foot again, knee stacked over the ankle. Back leg straight and strong. One more like that. Melt down, both legs straight, scissoring together. Coming forward, bend to that knee. We'll turn to the blade edge of our mat again, sorry, the long edge of our mat again. We'll floss our Skandasana, side to side. Choose again, you can pivot the toes to the ceiling. If you're ready for that, it's a little bit deeper. One more each side. And then when you come back to that front, which is the left foot, we'll then pivot the left toes to the left side of the room. Bring that right hip to the floor. You can readjust this leg, maybe you have to move it back a little bit. Just finding that side body stretch. Left hand reaching up and tall. Spiral the chest to the ceiling. Bring that left hand back to the ground. Stepping back, find a plank, power up your arms. We'll go one more time. So we go push up with the elbows that should stay in and the collarbones broad. Come back onto our knees. We'll glide through cobra, upward facing dog. Whatever works for you. And we'll push it back. Find child's pose just for 1 second. Feels good. Wide knees. Take your knees as wide as you can. Let the hips sit on the heels. Heavy sit bones. And we'll peel ourselves up. Not using your arms at all. Use all the core that you have. Roll it up. Chain links vertebrae at a time. Coming up to a seat. And I'll unspiral my legs. I'll bring them out in front of me. We'll find a forward fold. If you have troubles just staying up, sitting upright to do this, you might want to take some of the mat with you. It can feel good to lift the sit bones. That way this posture when you're just sitting here becomes a bit more natural. Reaching up as tall as you can. And then folding forwards. Not trying to grab onto anything, just working with what you have right now. Let the head melt, let the body melt, no tension. Have a breath here, let it out. And then just like we just did, put it in reverse, curl it all the way back up to sit. Untuck your mat if you use something to prop under you, and then fold down to the floor. And I'm going to take my hands out wide, make sure both my shoulders equally pressing into the floor, shimmy my left hip to the right side of the mat, right knee comes up and over. It's got 2 more to do, and then we're done. Breathing here, the deeper the breath into that lower back. You can bring your left hand on top of that right thigh, find some residual weight, and if you want a little bit more juice, turn your right head away from your left knee. Just relax down. And then on the next inhale breath, you'll bring your right knee back up. Bring your left knee up as well. Just give it a little swish, window wipers from side to side, and feel nice. And we'll put it the other way around now. So I bring my left knee up, I move my right hip to the left side of my mat, and I drop that left leg down. Bring your hand on top of that knee. Have a breath. Let it all go. Another breath, bring that knee back up. Bring both knees up, and we'll finish in a reclined butterfly or Supta Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of your feet together, let the knees knock out wide. You can be in this position as long as you have. A couple of breaths here can be nice. And it's a really good feedback stretch for you, because the more you release and relax, the more range of motion you can get. You can notice that your knees will get closer to the ground. And when you're ready, if you want a bit longer, pause the video, keep going. But if you're ready, 1 knee at a time, bring it back up. A couple of rock and rolls to come up to a seat. So that's 20 minutes, hips, hamstrings, back. And then you can use that as a warm-up, or you can use that as a bit of mobility if you're having an off day and you want a bit of recovery in your life. But yeah, if you have any requests, shoot them through. I'm more than happy to help. Thank you very much.